I got involved actually in Young Storytellers about 8 years ago, and the way I got involved was I got a phone call from the Writers Guild who asked me if I wanted to do this program called Young Storytellers, where you teach kids to write little screenplays. And I at first thought it was for high school kids, and I really thought that was going to be great. In the first session I went to, I realized it was for 9-year-old kids. Mm-hmm. But it was the most amazing program I'd ever been in my life, because it's almost magical. And these kids sit down for 6 to 8 weeks, and they have a mentor with each kid has a mentor, and they end up writing these 7 to 8 page screenplays. And it all comes out from the left side of their brain. So it's the most amazing stories you've ever heard. Mm-hmm. And I've been involved in this program ever since. Mm-hmm. Originally I started as a mentor, mm-hmm. And then eventually I became a head mentor, and I've been a head mentor for about 6 years now, and I'm also on the board of directors of Young Storytellers.
How does it feel working with these kids when you know you're making a difference, because they haven't been able to take these classes at their high schools? How does it make you feel when you go there and work with them?
It's an amazing experience to work with these kids, because they come in, and of course a lot of schools today don't have the arts program. So when they come in, they are like full of energy, and they really get involved in the program, and most of the kids that we work with are incredibly creative, and they just appreciate it so much. And I've actually done, as I said, this program for almost 9 years now, and I have never met a kid in that time that has been a disciplinary problem. They just come in and they're ready to write, they're ready to participate, and it's interesting because within the program these kids establish a bond with the mentor that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. Is there any event or performance that you would like to put on, possibly to bring more awareness to the program?
Well, I think the more we invite people, what we've been doing lately is, originally we had these programs at nighttime, mm-hmm. and we would invite the parents, and it was really nice, but the problem was that the parents, once they saw their kid, would leave, and by the time you got to the last kid, there may be 10 or 15 people in the audience, so it didn't really work that well. So what we've done now is we're having them in the afternoon for the whole school, and what happens is you build up a sort of the next group of kids that come in already have seen Young Storytellers, so they know what it's about. But I think that anytime we invite people from the outside world in the arts, it really helps.
How does it feel to make a one-on-one connection with a student, let's say?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Every kid that I've dealt with, and I think any mentor does, is you establish this bond with the kid, and it's, as I said earlier, it's very magical. And the reason why it's so magical is because what happens is, this is the first time, you have to remember, a lot of these kids come from underprivileged homes and low-income areas. And it's the first time a kid of that nature walks into a room and he meets an adult, and this adult is not there to judge him, is not there to teach him, and it's almost this bond that forms, because it's the first adult that is non-judgmental. And so these kids open up to this adult in this short time.
Mm-hmm. I'm Jason Kugach. I'm the Associate Director of the Young Storytellers Foundation. I got involved because my friend Bill, who's now the Executive Director, called me up one day and said, I need you to show up at the school and act in these student plays. And I was like, sure, I'll come do that. And I had an amazing time, and then next semester rolled around, he's like, hey, I want you to come mentor for Young Storytellers with me. And I was like, sure. And then the next session rolled around, he's like, I think you should be a head mentor. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And basically it's kept going like that until he was like, I think you should be associate director. And I was like, okay, I'll be associate director. So I just sort of fell in love with the program, and now I do all sorts of things. I help with the programming, which is mostly Erwin, but I mainly do grant writing and fundraising and most of our PR stuff. That's me.
Yeah, and I'm Erwin Ambrose, and I kind of sort of similar story, but in 2004 I was asked to act in a big show because I'd been on this kids show for a few years, and I showed up, and not only did I have the most fun I'd ever had as an actor, but seeing the kids, watching their scripts, and watching the mentors watching the kids, I knew something really sort of special was going on. So I asked to be a mentor, and then I became a head mentor, and I started running my own school, and then that was so incredible that they asked me to go and be a super mentor, and then in 2007 they asked me to work for the program and become So that's what I've been doing.
So what drew you to Young Storytellers in particular as an organization? So what, something about the kids, something about the mentors?
I've been an actor and a writer, and still am an actor and a writer, and have always valued that sort of programming, and so I'm really attracted to working with kids, but also this specific kind of work with kids. I think it really is important, and there's not enough of it in the schools.
Yeah, and I found that I didn't really have a philanthropic bone in my body. I was a very sort of self-centered actor. And from doing the mentorship program and the head mentoring and seeing over and over again the experience that the kids had telling their story, and then I also started writing and performing my own story, and I realized how powerful a transformational experience that was, that I wanted, and seeing that that's what our program supported these kids to do, and I could see that happening for them, that I just couldn't help but want to get more involved.
How does it feel when you guys work with these kids who have possibly never had an opportunity to join a class like this, and possibly you guys have for maybe your whole life, maybe you haven't, but how does it feel to make you see these kids be able to be in these programs and these classes?
It's usually an amazing experience to watch kids go from that sort of first day in the session when they're all timid and shy and scared, to watch them come out of their shells, to watch a group form and bond together, and to see them actually watching their stories is really sort of the most fulfilling thing for me, because they have just sort of this wide-eyed look of like self-amazement, like they can't believe what they've actually accomplished.
When I'm training mentors and trying to recruit people to be mentors, because it's a one-on-one program, that I don't know who gets more out of it, sometimes the kids or the mentors. And so when you see like people with their first time, I've had a lot of friends over the years hem and haw about, oh, I can't commit to 1 hour a week or something. Finally they do it, and then they end up asking me why they didn't do it earlier. And there's just sort of, people get addicted to it. It's really, it's an amazing feeling to see their words come alive that you've been working with them on, and they're not always great scripts by any means, but they're always successful. And like you said, there's even if you get 1 page, they're happy, you know, and it's a great experience for them.